Now, everybody loves Joe Rogan. He digs into everything. I love him too. I'd love to be on his show to present my stuff, but I haven't been successful at that. Now, he's talking about photons. Listen to what he has to say.
Have you ever seen, they just recently made images of quantum entangled photons? Take a look at what this looks like. Quantum entangled photons look like a yin-yang. Like, exactly.
Oh, awesome.
Exactly. That's it. That's a quantum entangled photon.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Are you
oh my
kidding?
God. Oh my God. So maybe someone knew this thousands and thousands of years ago.
Well, I can tell you what. We knew it 10 years ago. Okay, my friends, this is going to be fun. As you know, these are photons. That's a pulsed red laser. We're down in the light range photons, and we can actually see them using CMOS. I've shown this a zillion times. Well, now the big guys say, yes, this is correct. This is fabulous. This is the most misunderstood concept in physics. This is Veritasium, 16.3 million subscribers. What does the Earth get from the sun? Sunlight. Well, what is sunlight made out of? Photons. Okay, so Joe is freaking out over this yin-yang. Exactly. Can you believe this? Wow, this is amazing. These are photons. Well, first of all, that's not what a photon looks like. Similar, but not exactly. These are just illustrations. I'm going to show you actual photons using laser light. Light is light, photons are photons, and we saw them, and we can actually divide them. All right, this is live science, major science communicators. Well, this is reconstruction. Well, what does a reconstruction mean? They're taking bits and pieces and putting it back together and saying they figured out how to show two entangled photons. Image, which is image, credit is Nature Photonics, Zia et al., which means everybody else along with them. Scientists have used a first-of-its-kind technique to visualize two entangled light particles in real time. That's not two entangled light particles. I'll show you what particles are, and I'll show you, this is not right at all. That's a Dirac neutrino. All right? And it makes them appear as a stunning quantum yin-yang symbol. Well, this is what freaked out Joe Rogan. Let's take a look at what reality is. This is just somebody drawing something. Look at those two different colors and these two different colors. They really have no idea what they're seeing. Let me show you what they are seeing. First of all, I talked about reconstructing. When they smash things together, they hit gigantic particles and they just have debris. And they've reconstructed these little particles and figured out, well, they actually do look something similar to that. This is the actuality, which is what Rod Warren and I did in our experiments. That, you can call it a yin-yang symbol if you want, but for them, they're looking at this. This here. It's never going to be that way, ever. No, ever will it be that way. They will always be polarized up and down towards the Earth, because this is a dipole and that is a dipole. The strongest part of the dipole is pulled towards the Earth. That's why they're always, they call them up and down spin. They don't spin sideways. They spin this way. Although we forced them to tumble, which is one of a kind. Nobody's ever done that before. I guarantee you that. That, you can call it a yin-yang symbol if you want. It doesn't matter. But this is red. So when they show them all these different colors, they're not all different colors. They are the color of the frequency. Here's the green, is a much stronger frequency, still the same particle. It's just spinning much faster, and that I can prove as well. All right, here's the ground rules. This is light. Light is from a laser, from a candle, from whatever it is. It's light is light. And they're made of photons. That's a photon. Half of that, which would be just the black and white, is what we would have always considered an electron. But we never knew that this is actually dark matter, and it's a muon, which is this particle attached to the electron neutrino. Those two together are what they call a Dirac. Now, a Dirac is this right here. Now, this is right from Fermilab. This is not my doodle. It's their doodle. And it says this is matter and that's antimatter. Totally opposite. This has all the mass and all the matter. That's the dark matter. And that's where all of the weight is. This is nothing but energy. And there's no matter here. There's just a field. And exactly what Fermilab says again. Words right from their mouth. Not from Roger. There are the two particles. All right, Fermilab. This is over 10 years ago, and I talked to Fermilab about this, and they dismissed me. And it says, in summary, the fixed particle, the black one, has a fuzzy edge around it. Yes, it does, which is the color. And the point particles, they're nothing. They're zero. Zero. But they have an effect due to the field. And this is Don Lincoln, the guy that I interacted with. It didn't work out well. And here's what he also says about quantum, about the quantum foam. Empty space isn't empty. It's saturated with all kinds of particles, but light is particles too. I just showed you light are particles. So they're out there just as well as everything else, dust. Light is what I call atomic vapor. That's light. And it has a mass. These two particles, well, this is the particle, and that's another particle. Those are the electrons. You know what? Let me show you my dipole electron flood theory. All right, here it is right here. This is what a proton really is made out of. All the dark part goes to the center. That's why we've never seen it. Everything you look at bounces back at you, so you think it's just all, I don't know what they think about it. But all the weight, which is, they say, they can't find the weight. Well, the weight is inside of all of the glowy part. So this is, that's what a proton looks like. And the only two parts that is the black and the white. And they, I believe, are equal. I'm not sure of that, but I believe so. And it's just a white glowy one and a dark muon. That's dark matter, and it also makes gravity, and it is all the weight of things. And it's solid, it doesn't change in size, that is big and small and has no weight. And I really agree with that, because he said that. He said it has no weight, but it has a lot of energy. Totally agree. Those are the two particles. We saw them again, attached together. They're like this, and then like this, and those are like two bar magnets back to back. And a bar magnet will always, you can push bar magnets and they'll oppose, and you can put them so they'll attract. It just points to where the positives and negatives are. And the Earth is a ground. Electricity is, let's call it the negative right here. Earth is the positive, which is the ground. This will seek that with absolutely unbelievable intensity, as lightning does, as static electricity does, as regular electricity does, because it's nothing but the white. It wants to get back to the black. That is the strong nuclear force. The white is so strongly attracted to that black that if you can separate them and then put a device in the middle, it'll go right through that device and make that motor run and make that heater heat up and do all those kind of things, because that white wants so desperately to be back to that black. And the white has no weight whatsoever. No weight at all. None. Zero. But it has all the energy. All the weight is here. So your battery is over here. And all your energy is over on the other side of the battery. It goes up around through your motors and comes back down to the ground, and everything's fine. And guess what? It doesn't weigh anything. So when you fill up your car with electricity, it never gains any weight. When you run all that electricity out, it doesn't lose any weight. It never changes. It's the strong inside, which means the nuclear force. They've always said strong and weak nuclear force. Well, there is no. The nuclear forces are stronger than hell. They hold these things together so tightly that they have to smash them in colliders to make them separate. We didn't have to do that. We put it through a Venturi. Did the same thing. Made the fields crush each other's fields and then forced them to explode. That right there is nuclear explosion. That's a subatomic nuclear explosion. And what does that mean? It means that these particles here, which were the light, exploded and separated, and the black stayed here and the white turned into showers. And this is a known observed thing, but they can only do it in Cherenkov radiation in big water vats and so forth. And they just make a bunch of debris. We're focusing the light. That's the focus of the light through the venturi and squirts out the other side. Raw white energy. What did I say about it before? It has no weight. You should be able to put that right into a battery and use that to run a car, heat your house. Absolutely pollutant free, and it's only using light. There's no big chunks of radiation. When they shoot their stuff, they're using huge balls of masses of particles. We're using this. Zip. You can't get hurt with that. But if you get hit with that, you're in trouble. That's like getting hit with a 50 caliber. And this here is like getting hit with a pea shooter. Not even. It's like getting hit with a little fluff ball. That's the difference. These will not hurt you. I mean, the ones we have won't hurt you. These will kill you. And this, you should be able to walk around with that in your hand and heat and run your car with something very, very small. This is extremely energetic. To pull the white away from the black takes literally tons of energy. All right, so how did we rip the white apart? All we did was force it through a venturi that was so tight that the white was the only part that could come through. White can smash down to almost nothing, just like squirting like water. And the black is like bowling balls within the water. It can't get through. The water squirts through, the bowling balls stay on this side. They did exact same thing at CERN. They're trying to do the same stuff we're doing. Here's the low energy electron showers. Those are the white ones, and they just build up to high energy because they keep smashing into more and more particles, and they get more and more radiance. These are the muons. I showed you the black balls. These are the electron showers, which is the white ones. These stay out. They say they shower earlier. They don't shower. They just can't get through. These shower. All right, it's just as I show here. Going through the venturi, you get the shower. We should be able to pick that up, send it right into a battery using a photodiode array and all of these different frequencies of light, which are nothing more than those white glowy bits, end up going down into the battery. Then you send them back through your motor or whatever, back to ground, and the whole thing, it becomes a circuit. You tap off a little of that energy and keep the laser running, and you should be able to get free energy. I don't see why not. And this is it. This was done with that. The stuff I'm showing was done right here with this particular equipment. You see that? Samsung, 2012 this came out, and that's when we were doing these experiments. And this is taking pictures right here of a venturi, a laser pulsed, boom, 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 construction laser, sending this red light down towards a venturi, which was literally made of 2 pins of steel. All right, and they were tight enough that they created a curved venturi, forced the light to explode, and that's it right there. That's it right there. Exploded light, fission, raw white energy. That's electricity. That is electricity. And then black, again, reattaching, which is fusion. Fission, raw, fusion. And here it is right here. Muon and neutrinos, which are the black balls, they stay black and they just keep going by themselves. The electron showers, which are the white balls, they turn into a shower. And they get more and more brilliant, and then they reattach to the black very quickly, because that's a strong nuclear force. This is the subatomic range. This is a nucleus. This is nucleus stuff. Protons are big, huge things. They're like this. You can't use this. That's why they hit them head on, and they just get debris everywhere. And it's unbelievable what they have to look through for 10 years to find the particles we can find in bucket loads in seconds. Okay, I've been reporting this to these people for 10 years. This is not correct. They're just trying to come up with some fluff to make it look like they found something. This is not correct at all. These colors do not interchange like that. You have one black every single photon has one black, and then or has two blacks actually, because you have two actual electrons, not like this, and they're not sideways, they're always straight up and down. And they're black and then another color, and that other color, the black has that color surrounding it, whatever it is there'll be a fuzzy surrounding it. And that's exactly what they said at Fermilab. I agree with that. You see the red? It has that fuzzy edge around it. And they say this has no weight whatsoever. It's a theoretical particle, really, but it has energy for some reason because of a field. And this has all the mass and is the dark matter, basically. And it creates gravity because it wants to suck that back in as hard as it can get. And the Earth, you're standing on something solid, so it's got to be made out of mostly dark matter, or a lot of it, because you're on something solid. This is solid. This is not solid. You just fall right through that, but you'd burn while you did. Okay, I got called away, but I think I was in the process of saying this is just a simulation of actually my work and Rod's work. And here they're saying it's a reconstruction, blah, 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 and they're saying they have the two entangled photons. They're not, a photon is twice of this. This is not a photon, and that's not a photon. This is totally wrong. I mean, completely, totally wrong. And they will never be sideways. They will always be up and down, polarized to the Earth. In space, I guess they could just go photons could roll around, do anything they want. But once they have hit the Earth influence, the gravitational influence of the Earth, always they will go, polar, positive, negative. So if they're going straight up and down, moving this way, they'll be straight up and down. But even if they're moving in that direction, they'll still be straight up and down. They won't follow. I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, these are the photons building energy. These are the photons in complete photon mode because they're about to explode at the Venturi. That right there is a photon. Each side is what they call a gluon now, and they will always polarize straight up and down towards the Earth. And this particular one is being highlighted, this photon. They're all over the place here. There's tons and tons of these particles all over, but the only one that is really, really getting highlighted is the one that's going to explode at the Venturi, because it's being pushed back at. The dark particles cannot get through the Venturi, so they're stacking up right here. This is like banging into those dark particles. It thinks it hit a wall. It thinks it hit a wall because the dark particles are just collected here. They're not going to get out of the way. You go bang, and it hits it, and that's when your photon just turns into a real photon. Here, it hasn't concussed enough. Here, it will never concuss enough. The only reason these are showing up is because of the reverse push, that this whole thing is pushing desperately back at this whole area here. That's what's called reverse electromotive force, reverse EMF. So these come and these bang back at it. So instead of this going 100 miles an hour, this comes back at it at 50 miles an hour. It seems like it's going 150 and smashing, and you get a lot of energy showing up right here. Now this is red, which is on a very low end of the spectrum. A pretty good, they're the weaker of the light particles. We had red, green, and blue. Green is the middle, blue is just a rocket ship. All right, so here we got the green. It's coming this direction, you see it? You see down here? It's coming up in this direction, but it's still totally straight up and down. It's not twisting this way, and that should be twisted that way, you would think, but it's not. It's because it's straight up and down, polarized towards the Earth, just like the red was. The red was going in straight like this. This is going off to that direction, but they're still straight up and down. Now, let me show you the red and the green together. This should blow your mind. All right, the first shots I showed you were Rod Warren did those using a Samsung Galaxy S3. Now, you can see here, this was Fabien Boulet. And I don't know what kind of phone he had. But it was another CMOS, and he was looking at the green particles. Now you see this green one has the black part here and the white part below it on this side. This one has the black part here and the white part below it on this side. And they all do that because they build up and then they flip, and they build up and flip. Now watch what it is like here. This is green and red together at the same time through the same Venturi. All right, so here's the Venturi right here. Two light sources. Zzz, bam! They hit at the Venturi. Well, what do we initially see at the Venturi? Let me bring this in real close so you can see all of Z details. All right, what do we originally see? The green actually went into the blue spectrum because it became extremely energetic and highlighted. That's more energy than the green. It's extremely brilliant right there. Now, you see the red, how dim it looks? And that's the red stream. That's the red laser beam. And here's the green laser beam. Well, what's going on right here? The green is stronger than the red, so the red, instead of pushing up into the green pushes the red down. And that's why you see all this dribble coming out this way. You see it come all the way down here. The green is just pushing it out of the way. What else happens? Remember I told you they always spin according to this rule. They never spin like this, sideways or tumble, except for this particular case. This is the first ever seen of tumbling photons. You see those? They're not supposed to do that. They're not built to do that. Their fields are polarized towards the Earth because they have a positive and a negative side. So if the negatives, which is the white part, is always drawn towards the Earth. That's why you get lightning, you get static, you get electricity. Everything always wants to get to ground. Ground must have a lot of dark matter because it wants those white particles desperately. And the white particles desperately want to find some black particles. That's why you get electricity so extremely powerful, unbelievably powerful. That little white particle has no mass whatsoever. Run a car all day long. Doesn't use any mass whatsoever. It just wants to get back to that black particle. But to rip the white away from the black is very, very difficult. That's why electrical generation takes so much energy, because you're literally tearing the white from the black. However, with the Venturi, we let it do it all by itself. Okay, here's where Chat and I have a little bit of a disagreement. I said, is light made of matter? And Chat says light is not made of matter. It is composed of particles called photons. And they are massless. They are not massless, Chat. I will explain. They are not massless. And actually, their weight is 0.000584585, something like that, atomic mass units. If you multiplied that weight times 1839, you would have one photon. Proton, big proton. So they have a mass. This is not correct. Photons are the carriers of electromagnetic radiation. Well, yes, actually, the black part is the carrier. The white part is the electromagnetic radiation, which is visible light. They behave both like particles and waves, obviously, because it is a particle with a field surrounding it, creating a wake. It's just like having a motor in a boat going through the water. The boat is the particle, and the surrounding part of the craft creates the wave. Simple as that. They behave both like particles and waves, concept known as wave-particle duality. Now they say, in contrast, matter is made up of particles that have mass. Yes, everything has mass. They know it has mass. Light has mass. There's no question about it. You shine it on a Crookes radiometer, it makes it spin. Why do they think that happens if there's no mass? Why is that happening? All right. So it says, while light and matter interact with each other, they are fundamentally different in nature. No, they're not. They're the exact same thing. I'm sorry, Chat. I'm sorry, buddy. We got to go through this a little deeper, my friend.